Hi, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. If this is your first time in, welcome on in. We're going to be reacting to Gragas, the Rabble Rouser, for the very first time. All right, if this is your first time here, so what I normally do is I look at the biography and the story first for the champion, see if there's any cinematics for them, take a look at their abilities, their skins, the wiki, all that stuff, and then we end off with the voice lines at the very end, and I'll have it chaptered out at the very bottom if you want to fast forward to certain parts specifically here. But I don't know how much we're going to have for Gragas. I feel like he is a not a very popular champion in terms of lore or anything like that as far as I know about Gragas. And again, the only other thing I know about him is I think he's a bigger guy and he likes to throw these barrels around. Not sure what is in the barrels, but yeah, we're really going to go into this one very blind. Again, I don't know if we're going to have a whole lot of content for him. That's what we're going to learn today. All right, guys, here we go. This is going to be interesting. The quote says, "Now this will put hair on your chest." Okay. Role as fighter. Region is the Freljord. Really? And our related champions are Tryndamere, Braum, Jax, and it looks like Ashe. Okay. You know, I've reacted to Jax, Ashe, and Braum. No mention really of Gragas in any of those. Maybe Tryndamere is the most important one. Haven't reacted to Tryndamere yet. All right, equal parts jolly and imposing, Gragas is a massive rowdy brewmaster on his quest for the perfect pint of ale. Hailing from parts unknown, he now searches for rare ingredients among the unblemished wastes of the Freljord, trying each recipe as he goes. Often intoxicated and extremely impulsive, he is legendary for the brawls he starts, which often end in all-night parties and widespread property damage. Any appearance from Gragas must surely foreshadow drinking and destruction in that order. Okay, so we have... I feel like we have the most unserious champion. I mean, okay, yeah, here we go. Let's go ahead and learn the biography for Gragas. I guess I'm most interested to see like how good he actually is when it comes to fighting, like if he has any special abilities or anything, so let's learn about that. The only thing important to Gragas than fighting is drinking. His unquenchable thirst for stronger ale has led him in search of the most potent and unconventional ingredients to toss in his still. Impulsive and unpredictable, this rowdy carouser loves cracking kegs as much as cracking heads. Thanks to his strange brews and temperamental nature, drinking with Gragas is always a risky proposition. Gragas has an eternal love of good drink, but his massive constitution prevented him from reaching a divine state of intoxication. Oh. One night, when he had drained all the kegs and was left wanting, Gragas was struck by a thought rather than the usual bar stool. Why couldn't he brew himself something that would finally get him truly drunk? It was then that he vowed to create the ultimate ale. I can't take this character serious. Gragas' quest eventually brought him to the Freljord, where the promise of acquiring the purest Arctic water for his recipe led him into uncharted glacial wastes. While lost in an unyielding blizzard, Gragas stumbled upon a great howling abyss. There he found it, a flawless shard of ice unlike anything he had ever seen. Is it just true ice? Not only did this unmelting shard imbue his lager with incredible properties, but it also had a handy side effect. It kept the mixture chilled at the perfect serving temperature. Under the spell of his new concoction, Gragas headed for civilization, eager to share the fermented fruits of his labor. As fate would have it, the first gathering to catch Gragas' bleary eyes would shape the future of the Freljord. He blundered into a deteriorating negotiation between two tribes discussing an alliance with Ashe. He did not. Though Ashe welcomed a break in the tension, the other warriors bristled at the intrusion and hurled insults at the drunken oaf. True to his nature, Gragas replied with a diplomatic headbutt, setting off a brawl matched only in the legends of the Freljord. When the fallen from that great melee finally awoke, Ashe proposed a friendly drink as an alternative to fighting. With their tempers doused in suds, the two tribes, formerly on the brink of war, bonded over a common love of Gragas' brew. Although strife was averted and Gragas hailed a hero, he still had not achieved his dream of drunken blissfulness. So once more, he set off to wander the tundra in search of ingredients for Runeterra's perfect pint. What a freaking character. Okay, so Gragas' main goal is to find the most perfect ingredient to finally become so drunk, right? That he's never been that drunk before. He's looking for drunken blissfulness. And we just happen to have this funny little story of him in the Freljord bringing two tribes together because of his ale, his brew. I mean, I guess. I'm not sure. I would love to know more about his actual background, but there we go. This felt more like a short story than it did a biography, but there is a short story, so we're going to go into that. I'm just along for the ride, guys. I don't know. I didn't really expect anything crazy with Gragas, so again, I'm just here for the ride. I hope you guys are too. Let's do the story. Hopefully this is maybe the first time you guys have even heard Gragas' biography and story in the first place, so you're just enjoying it along with me. All right, the story is called A Well-Earned Tip. Anyway, Funny little artwork here as well of Gragas. Okay. Up in the mountains that separate Demacia from the Freljord, there aren't a lot of jobs that pay coin. Some pay in furs or in loaves of frost-hard bread. But Agile's baby sister was born sickly. The family needed coin to help keep her well-fed and to buy her medicine. So Agile's father cut a deal with Agile's uncle, Jasper. Agile would become a servant in Jasper's Inn at the mountain pass, selling ale to passing traders. Work hard, all right, Agile's mother told him, for your sister. One night, a season after Agile started working for Jasper, a whole crowd of customers arrived just as the inn was closing. It was strange for travelers to arrive so late after nightfall in the winter. Jasper peered out the window. I don't know them, he said, tugging nervously on his wild black beard. The door slammed open and a crowd of shaggy-haired men thumped inside, shaking the snow from their boots and cloaks. They parted ranks, and an old fellow with a velvet-trimmed cloak approached the bar. Good evening, he said with a great city accent. Our business associate is arriving in a few minutes. What's an offer? Uncle Jasper pointed numbly at the drink list hanging behind the bar. There were 12 brews there, an impressive selection for this part of Demacian hinterlands. But one by one, the guards all ordered the absolute cheapest, Forson's Red. Agil had never tasted any other beer, but even he knew it wasn't good stuff. That's why it was so cheap. Agil hurried into the back room where the kegs were kept to pour their ale. As the skunky beverage foamed into the cups, he wondered how much these guests would tip. Would he get one big tip from the leader or 11 small tips, one from each? His heart raced. Then Agil heard a heavy step on the path outside. The door creaked open, and the next step made the tavern floorboards groan. Agil wheeled the drink cart out into the main room. The newcomer was the absolute biggest man he'd ever seen. His head scraped the ceiling beams, his limbs were pure muscle as thick as tree trunks, and his face was covered in a bristly red beard. The grisly scars crisscrossing his vast sides looked like he'd really lived through the gruesome battles Jasper's drunken patrons liked to brag about. The velvet-clad man raised his hand toward the stranger. Gragas, I presume, he called. Gragas didn't answer. His eyes were fixed on the drinks list hanging behind the bar. You are Gragas, the brewer? The merchant repeated impatiently. Gragas turned his huge shoulders and gave the little old man a red-faced glare. With a voice so loud it reminded Agil of an old god speaking from below the snowpack, the newcomer growled, I'm buying a drink. The air in the room felt like it does when a thunderstorm gathers overhead. Agil began handing out the ales. His hands were shaking. What's that Karsten flower stuff? Gragas asked Jasper, pointing at the list. What flower is that? That's just the brewer's name, Jasper said. It ain't got flowers in it. Sorry. Gragas rumbled. Agil handed out the final drink to the old merchant, then stood patiently waiting for his tip, but the merchant ignored him. His glinting gaze was fixed on the huge newcomer, like a fox's eyes before the pounce. I'll take the Sun Gold Porter, Gragas announced. That's a precious one, I've heard. Jasper scurried into the back to pour it, and Gragas thumped over to the table to sit down. Now, what do you have for me, he asked. The old merchant started digging around in his huge coat. I heard you're in the market for Shuriman goods, he said. Floodplain grains, cactus blooms. Oh, okay, so Gragas is trying to get some Shuriman-like ingredients. Instead of actually traveling there, he's like, well, okay, I could probably just buy it. I'm interested, Gragas said. The merchant noticed Agil standing there. Shoo, boy, he said. Agil froze. No tip? I said shoo, the merchant snapped. All the guards laughed. Tears starting at the corners of his eyes, Agil hurried into the keg room behind the bar. Jasper was pacing back there, tugging nervously at his beard. Oh, I feel bad. Damn that man, Jasper seethed. The Sun Gold Porter, I don't have any. We ran out? We never had it. I can't afford to stock any of those rare ales. They're on offer to impress people. Almost nobody orders them. They're too expensive. And when they do, I just mix some stuff together. Nobody can tell. To Agil, this seemed like stealing. You should tell the big man, he said. Jasper laughed. Why? It doesn't hurt anyone. I have a business to run, boy. One glass of the porter is a week of earnings here at the inn. Jasper squared his shoulders. He won't be able to tell. Oh, no. Jasper snatched a massive stein off one of the hooks on the wall and started filling it at the Forson's tip, then Eigen Ale, then Karsten flour. As that murky mixture foamed toward the brim, Agil realized he'd have to deliver Gragas the concocted drink. Cold washed over him like a night wind over the snow. When Jasper thunked the stein into his outstretched hands, he almost fell over. Keep a straight face, Jasper ordered. Agil thought of his sister. He thought of money clinking in his palm. Then he tottered forward across the empty floor of the inn, struggling to hold the stein aloft. Gragas' booming voice filled the room. The recipe I'm working on has a very spicy taste already. I need something to balance it out. As Agil approached the table, the merchant leaned forward. So, we arrive at the real business. Yeah, Gragas grunted. The real business. The merchant reached inside his coat and drew out a palm-sized lockbox covered in gold and glinting jewels. The shining box was absolutely the most valuable thing Agil had ever seen in his life. It was probably worth 10 lifetimes of Jasper's smelly ale. Standing near it felt like standing beside the sun. Vizier's tears, the merchant said. Ancient heirloom spice. Whoa, okay. Brown from tomb herbs found only in the ruins of the sun disk. The Sun Emperors used it to season their mead. Oh, I wonder if that's actually true. Or if this guy's just swindling. Really, Gragas said. When I heard about your quest, the greatest ale ever brewed, well, I immediately sought out the tiers, the trades I had to make, the spices worth a fortune, but I knew you'd be good for it. Gragas nodded slowly, thinking. Angel suddenly realized that if anyone was going to be able to notice a substitute drink, it would be a master brewer on a quest to make the perfect beer. He reached for the stein, thinking frantically of an excuse. But he was too slow. Gragas noticed Angel and the beer sitting at his elbow. Thanks, boy, he said, and grabbed the sign himself. He drank deep, and immediately, Angel saw his bushy eyebrows furrow, his nostril twitched, his bearded lip curled into a hint of a grimace. His gaze traveled across the room and fixed on Jasper. Angel felt like he was going to melt. He knows we're tricking him. But the master brewer did not shout out his displeasure. Instead, Gragas held his hand out for the jeweled box. So let me see, he said. Show me your perfect spices. The merchant handed it over. Gragas lifted the lid of the lockbox and sniffed. And again, his nostril twitched. That sensitive sense of smell had found another flavor that troubled it. Okay, so he's got a really, this is one of his abilities. He's got a really good sense of smell, I imagine. Angel felt his heart stop. They're tricking him too. It's a fake. 1 forgery was forgivable. 2 over the same pint, not as much. Gragas glanced at Angel just for a moment. It was warning enough. Angel dove away from the table like a snow hare leaping for the safety of the tree line. Then Gragas stood. He flipped the table as he rose, and simultaneously each one of the guards produced jagged hatchets from beneath their cloaks. Gragas just took out his fists. I love that that's a sentence. Angel saw only bits of the ensuing fight. He saw the merchant flee toward the bar, then Gragas followed with huge strides. There was a sound like an explosion. Jasper gave a high-pitched scream and skittered straight out the front door. Then the kegs all rolled across the floor toward the guards. A thundering avalanche sprang ale and foam in every direction. It flattened them, all but one, who hid behind a table, then popped up, ready to throw his axe. But Gragas grunted. A barrel flew across the room, and the guards simply vanished. So did half of the back wall. Angel heard the guard's tiny scream disappear down the mountainside. I feel like this whole scene's kind of giving, like, I don't know, something that would happen in The Lord of the Rings or something. Angel crawled out from under a table to see Gragas pouring the gray, dusty contents of the shiny lockbox onto the groaning merchant at his feet. Mummy dust, he growled. Have some respect. Then he caught sight of Angel. His wild brows narrowed. Boy, he called. His booming voice made shards of broken glass tremble on the floor. Come here. Cautiously, Angel approached. He thought of his sister. He wondered whether he could run faster than a thrown barrel. Tell the innkeep to go lighter on the forcins next time, Gragas said. Then Angel saw the lockbox and the master brewer's outstretched hand. A huge smile parted that bushy red beard. Your tip. I love that story, actually. That was really fun. I was like, I kind of expected what was going to happen, but I didn't know about the whole part with the beer that Gragas would order and then the mixing of the beer and then how it would all end. So this was actually a really fun story. I will say the Gragas story, not bad. Pretty fun. I think a really well-written story and kind of makes the character seem fun. But of course, let's go ahead and learn more about Gragas. We're going to dive straight into his abilities, see if he has any cinematics, see if he even has a login screen or champion theme. Let's just find out what he has in terms of content. All right, guys, seeing as Gragas doesn't have any cinematics, doesn't have like a login screen or champion theme or anything like that, we're just going to dive right into the skins for Gragas. I guess let me know what your favorite skin is for Gragas. I'm not sure how many skins he really has, but that's it. Let's go ahead and dive into these. We'll be getting into the wiki afterwards, and then of course his voice lines, so go ahead and stick around for all of that. Okay, here we go. Let's dive in. First one is called Music Fan Gragas, and he's got a KDA jacket on. So Gragas is a fan of KDA. That's hilarious. Very cool recall. I mean, for the memes, right? I love it. Music Fan Gragas is great. I love that he's got like a soda can. He's got a KDA. I mean, is that a tattoo on his belly? I mean, is it maybe permanent or is it temporary? I'm not sure. I do like the, okay, so I guess the thing that I'm going to be looking for Gragas is maybe a change in the beard. And then maybe a change in, obviously like the cask or the keg or whatever. To see what's different about him. It's giving Fortnite a little bit with the way the liquid looks on this one. Like it's a chug jug. Oh, I like the explosion saying KDA. That's cool. That's really cool. I mean, if you're a KDA fan, but you're a Gragas player, there you go. We have a high noon Gragas. Very cool. Okay. I mean, I think I like it. The only thing that I would say is he actually has clothing over his belly, so I'm not used to that. The outfit high noon works for him, I think. Let's see the explosion. I like the animation. That's cool. I like the like chains around the top of it as well. Oh, that burp. Diabolical. Okay. Yeah, I love all the red, orange, and like black colors to go with it. I think it works really well. High Noon grew on me. I used to not really like High Noon skins, but I mean, maybe the first ones that I saw, I just wasn't a big fan of. But I think lately High Noon skins have been really, really good for me. All right, let's see the recall. High Noon makes sense a little bit for Gragas too, I think. Looks like OJ. Well, or it looked like lava, I guess. Okay, that was cool. Arctic Ops Gragas. That's an interesting one. Okay, so, you know, Arctic Ops, you know, he's got like the Black Ops or whatever, you know, Arctic Ops, he's military uniform on. What is that? Supposed to be like a ice grenade? It is kind of like an ice grenade. Okay, I like the effects and stuff. Again, I feel like most champions have this sort of Freljordian kind of skin or winter skin. So I think this is Gragas's. I think it's a little bit of a downgrade from the first two that we just saw, but I don't think it's terrible. I'm not like the biggest fan of not being able to see his beard, not being able to see his belly, but I think it's still fine. Okay. I like the submarine. That's cool. That was actually a really cool recall. I like that. Oh, what is this? Oktoberfest Gragas. I don't think we've ever had another Oktoberfest, have we? I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but this is kind of the perfect skin for Gragas, which is why it exists, right? Now, obviously, okay, so it looks like the ale does look a little different from the original, I believe. There's like added effects as well. We'll have to see. I'm not exactly sure what the sound effects are and everything on the originals, like the original skin, so we'll have to see. But I think so far this is good. Again, outfit is perfect. I mean, no notes on this, really. Okay, recall. Ah, he's doing the dance. Okay. Yeah, honestly, kind of a perfect skin for him. What is this? Oh, Space Groove. Yes. Space Groove is kind of hit or miss for me. Okay, Space Groove Gragas. What are my thoughts? It looks very interesting. Oh, is it like a... Oh, I like the music playing when it explodes. That's cool. He's very vibrant. I know that's the idea of the Space Groove skins. I think I like it overall. I don't know if there's something weird. I think it's just weird looking. I think it's just weird to have like the Gragas model Space Groove. Just all these interesting colors for Gragas. Basically don't make sense, but I think it works. I like the explosion animation as well there. Recall is very good. Very solid. We got a disco ball, some dancing. Gragas takes the shades off. That's a good one. What is this? Warden Gragas. Okay. Ooh, I like the beard and like the mask he's got on. You get some sort of sound effect here when he hits. Ah, the voice effect as well. Okay. They're definitely doing some different stuff here with Gragas. I think it looks cool because of the beard specifically. The beard really stands out for me. Like, it looks very badass, I think. Oh, I like the wings when he charges, too. That's interesting. I didn't notice that. Also, when he throws. Okay. Oh. Oh. A little flex there. Okay. That was an okay one. What is this? Vandal Gragas. Okay, I mean, if you want to go with like a different version of Gragas, one that goes to the kinds of people that you might see at a bar, right? Or like a dive bar. Here you go.
Get some.
Is that an actual keg? Yeah, that's an actual keg this time, it looks like. I think the biker outfit or vandal outfit works for Gragas. I do wish the beard... So they made the beard a little bit more normal, I guess you could say. I kind of wish they kept the craziness with it. But maybe it wouldn't have worked. Okay, it looks like no special effect, I don't think, for the explosion. Oh, he's pumping up the keg. Okay. Okay, and spinning it on his fingers. I mean, fair enough. That's not terrible. We have Esquire Gragas, I assume.
Last call.
This one seems interesting. So it's like if he was a little bit more on the rich side or like sophisticated side, Gragas. And is that supposed to be wine instead? Yeah. Does it say drink responsibly? What does it say on it? Or no, does it say what does it say? I'm not sure what it says on it. Okay, I mean, if you want to put Gragas in a suit and make him look dapper, yeah, I actually think it's not terrible. I think it's pretty good. I didn't realize that most of them honestly wouldn't have his belly sticking out, but I guess it doesn't really need to. It's interesting that they kept his belly out in the KDA one. Okay, he just opens it and then spins it on his finger. Okay. This one is Cask Breaker Gragas. Okay, we've seen a skin from this lineup before. It's like your D&D one, kind of. He's in like some old-timey tavern style kind of clothing, it looks like. Okay, the explosion's fun. It looks like it's like wine again instead of ale, or I'm not sure. He kind of looks like a character that would be in How to Train Your Dragon or something. That bald spot on top is crazy. All right, let's see it. Okay, so that seems to be the original animation, is just taking the lid off and then spinning it on his finger. That's totally fine. Got to check how much you got left, right? Oh, Gragas, Superfan Gragas. Okay, all right.
Last call.
Okay. We got, yeah, okay, this works, I feel like, because you got the belly out, and then you got, you know, one side painted the blue color, just like a fan would be at a football game. What is that? Oh, it's like a water cooler or like a Gatorade cooler or whatever, right? That's kind of fun, actually. I think that's creative enough that works, actually. It's also, yeah. I mean, a super fan would also probably be drinking in the stands, or, you know what I mean? I think that actually really works for Gragas in terms of the skin. The beard is great as well. I like the color of it being, you know, with the painted in on part of it is good.
Get some.
Do they do anything special? No, it doesn't look like it. All right. Oh my God. I don't know why I didn't think of this. Santa Gragas. You gotta play Santa Gragas in the entire month of December. You just have to. Even November 1st if you're feeling, you know, if you're feeling crazy. And then it looks like it's like a basket full of presents. It's almost like in the shape of a grenade. Yeah, and then he drinks from the bag that just has all the presents in it as well. That's very fun. I gotta say, this is a really good one. And of course, the fact that his belly's sticking out, it's like Santa got a little bit more overweight than he should have. The beard is, of course, the skin's perfect. I mean, there's nothing else to say about it. It's a perfect Santa skin. Now, please do something with the recall. Oh, man. I want to see like an updated version of this. If this is your Santa Claus skin in your game, you got to update it. It's a really good skin, though. Okay, we got Fanatic, right? Fanatic Gragas. Yeah, so we're going to get the typical, okay, it looks like it's the trophy, right, that he's holding. And then the typical Fanatic, like hoodie, headphones, and the colors and everything. Let's see, does he throw? Yep. Okay, I feel like we pretty much understand this skin. I'm just going to move it on to the recall. I don't think they're going to do anything special either with the recall. Of course, if you're a Fanatic fan, you would want to use this one. Okay, moving on. Next up is Hillbilly Crocus. Okay, those overalls look actually kind of good on him. And then when you got your actual barrel here.
Don't get pushy.
Oh, did they do voice lines for him? I wonder. I mean, yeah, we don't really need to see this one either. It's going to be the same animations and stuff. I think the beard looks good. The overalls actually fit Gragas pretty well. Let's just see if there's a different recall. It doesn't look like it. So moving on to the last one, which is Scuba Gragas. Scuba Gragas? That's like one of the first skins they did for him? Why?
Happy hour incoming.
Why did we do Scuba Gragas as one of the very first skins for him? That seems so odd. If you ever wanted to see a big man in a scuba suit, here you go, I guess. It looks pretty good. I mean, it looks like Gragas in a scuba suit. At least you don't have to see his feet out. You can see the fins. That's a little bit nice, I guess. All right, guys, that's going to be it for the skins. I don't think we really have a recall. No recall for Scuba Gragas. Okay. Guys, I'm going to pick my top 3 skins. If you would like to let me know your favorite skin in the comments, I'd love to hear it. So, okay, this one is going to be a little bit of a weird one for me. I think you have to go with Music Fan Gragas. It's just I know it's the newest skin, but it is also probably the best or one of the best for sure for him. I also think next up, you do unfortunately have to go with one of the other newer skins, which is going to be High Noon Gragas. They've just done a really good job on both of these 2 newer skins. Now, the next skin that I really wanted to choose was going to be Oktoberfest, but I was taken aback, really, like literally, by Santa Gragas. I think Santa Gragas is so funny. I think they need to update it though, and maybe like have a little bit more animation stuff going on with it. Instead of like the explosions still being ale, it could be like explosions of like little presents or just something, right? And then they could do something fun with the recall. Maybe have some yordles as elves or something. I don't know. I think that would be really fun for them to update the Santa Claus skin. I have to pick Santa Gragas. I didn't know how much sense it made, but it actually works perfectly. And I think Santa Gragas is, yeah, they just need to update it because it's like the Santa Claus skin in the game. I feel like it should be a little bit more modernized, and even though it's got some basic stuff going on with it, I think it's just such a perfect skin for our character that it works. All right, let's take a look at the trivia a little bit. There's just a tiny bit here. It says Gragas is voiced by J.S. Gilbert, Battlecast Prime Cho'Gath, Dr. Mundo, Corporate Mundo, pre-rework Scion, Udyr, Spirit Guard Udyr are also voiced by the same actor. Okay, so J.S. Gilbert does a lot of voice acting, basically. Gragas used to be the only mage fighter champion as well as the only melee mage. He is now a fighter mage, so until recently there have been no melee mages, with Silas now taking up that role, even though most champions with a mage secondary role are melee. His first title was the Cask Master, but was changed to avoid confusion with the Card Master. Oh, it was too close, huh? What appears to be Gragas' cask can be seen in the game's Mac version trailer, and then Gragas is the 3rd champion to have 9 skins, behind Rise and Annie. Okay, he has that, of course, he's got the little bit of a leg up being an older champion. But there you go. Very simple trivia. Let's go ahead and move on to the wiki. All right, looking at the wiki, age says current 22 to 101 years old. Like, we don't know. Born 896 AN, 975 AN. Weapons are a cask and Graggy Ice, it says. Current residence is the Freljord. Occupation is just brewer, liquor connoisseur. Faction Avarosin, it says. And then region Freljord. Yeah, okay, nothing really going on there. And unfortunately, the background is something that we already read. So if you skipped over the biography and story stuff in the beginning, go ahead and go back to that. But it's just the Freljordian stuff that he appears in at the very beginning. So yeah, let's just dive right into his appearance. Gragas is an enormous man, tall, muscular, and immensely fat. He has fair skin and orange hair. Though he is severely balding, he has long hair growing from the back and sides of his head. He also has a large beard and mustache, braided and tied off with metal band. He has various white tattoos of simple curved symbols on his arms, torso, and head. He also bears numerous scars across his body. He usually wears little more than a tattered loincloth and is often seen carrying a massive wooden barrel under one arm. Yeah, he's always got to have his ale with him. Personality. He is known for his rowdiness and ability to start fights in a bar. Despite this, he can be friendly when sharing his ale. He's very passionate about making the perfect beer and will get angered and destructive should someone insult his beer or try to pass off fake ingredients to him. Both scenarios will usually result in an explosion of violence and chaos. Yeah, Gragas is actually somebody that seems like he is very generally nice unless you try to manipulate them, right? Who wouldn't be a little angry if you manipulated them? Okay, so we have abilities. Iceborne physiology. So while the reason for an outsider to the Freljord to be able to touch true ice is unknown, Gragas is able to use the magical ice properties as a special touch to his already legendary brew. Being able to touch true ice effectively makes him one of the Iceborne. You guys let me know how, true that is. I know in the biography, I was like, oh, is that true ice that he's using? So very interesting that he might just straight up be, somebody that is an Iceborne. We have Master Brewer. Gragas' ale is known far and wide, even across the borders of the Freljord. It is clear he's not some amateur brewer able to discern a true drink from a forgery. And then, of course, he has superhuman strength. Gragas has an extremely strong physique. He is taller than most humans, his head barely staying below most ceilings. He is described as having extremely muscular arms the size of tree trunks. When throwing barrels against a wall, he's able to destroy it by sheer force alone. Okay, and then the only relation that we have, which does come from our biography, it says Gragas, it's the Avarosan. Gragas is loosely allied with the Avarosan for unknown reasons. He once blundered into a deteriorating negotiation between two tribes discussing an alliance with Ash. In his drunken stupor, he set off a brawl. When the participants of the fight finally came back to consciousness, Ash proposed a friendly drink as an alternative to fighting. With their tempers doused, the two tribes, formerly on the brink of war, bonded over a common love of Gragas's brew. Yeah, that's what happened in the biography if you missed it. All right, so yeah, content, guys. That's all there is. The biography and short story for Gragas. And then we have the tiny bit of trivia says the 9,000 years lease Gragas might arrange with Ash and Trinamir references St. James Gate. What is this 9,000 years lease that Gragas might arrange? Okay. Jax is Gragas's drinking buddy in the old lore. Oh man, I feel like that should stay. I feel like Jax and Gragas being drinking buddies would have been fun. That must have been when they changed Jax's lore. Or did they change Jax's lore? Or is it when they updated Gragas from the Cask Master maybe? I don't know. All right, guys, that's it. Let's go ahead and dive right into the voice lines. All right, everybody, I hope you've been having a great time with this Gragas, reaction. I know it's definitely not on the top of everybody's list, but regardless, it is a champion in League. I think watch them pull some crazy stuff and he becomes super important in the future. We'll see though. But I do think they need to flesh him out a little bit. Let's just hold on. Let's get into the voice lines before I start saying all that though. Okay, so it looks like they did some voice lines for the Arctic Ops and the Warden skins. I actually didn't pick any of those for my favorite skins. Let's start off with the pick sound effect. Okay.
If you're buying, I'm in.
Oh, that voice. And then the ban.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. He said, yeah. He didn't get that angry. Let's go into his moving voice lines.
Don't get pushy.
Oh.
Yeah. Need some grog.
I think the voice is pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Get some. I'm on it. Let's get this party started.
Okay. I think these voice lines are pretty good so far. Let's see the taunt.
I'll drink you under the table, scrub.
I wonder. Ooh, that's something we could discuss. Who could also drink just as well as Gragas? Like, who is somebody? I feel like there would definitely be some actual people that could out drink maybe Gragas because of his, I don't know, because he's human, right? And there's other people in League that aren't human, but he does have iceborne physiology possibly or whatever. So maybe he is a little bit more, non-human than we actually know. Not sure. I don't know. There might be somebody out there. Let me know in the comments. All right, the joke.
The only time I have a drinking problem is when I spill it.
That's actually a good joke. I think that's a pretty good joke. I would actually laugh if somebody said that. So actually, the peak joke from Gragas, I think. Okay, we have his laugh. Oh, I almost want them to be longer and more like Santa Claus like. Oh, another thing about the Santa Claus skin? I think he needs voice lines for the Santa Claus skin. Not only do they need to update the Santa Claus skin, they need to give him voice lines. I think if that's going to be your Santa Claus in your game, you need to do more with it. Okay, we have attacks. So basic attacking is just grunts. I don't know why, but the Gragas grunts are kind of funny. Okay, attacking voice lines.
Last call.
That's a perfect voice line.
Have a drink. Dodge this.
Dodge this.
Happy hour.
That actually,
coming.
the dodge this works really well because he's obviously throwing a cask a lot.
Fight time. Time to roll out the barrel.
Fair enough. And then we have barrel roll ability casting. It's more grunts. Drunken rage. Oh my goodness. Oh, the echo is disturbing. Okay, I don't like it. I don't like it. I also don't like how loud it is. All right, hopefully that's the last of the burps. It's very nasty. Body slam. Okay, more grunts. Explosive cask. I feel like Gragas is somebody that would be grunting. I don't know. Does that sound weird? Does that sound weird, guys? I don't know. I think he would be a grunter, I guess. Okay, and then the death animation, it says, or the death sound, Gragas cries out, groaning in pain and gasping. Did he hiccup there? Actually, hold on. That's something that's missing. No hiccup. Whenever you get drunk, you know, like some people hiccup. Maybe Gragas isn't somebody that does that. Like I personally don't think I ever hiccup whenever I've been drinking, but very interesting that they don't have a hiccup sound effect. Okay, those are Gragas' death sounds. Honestly, those are kind of tame compared to some of our other death sounds. I guess in terms of voice lines, I think some of the attacking voice lines are pretty good, like last call, have a drink, dodge this. Those are pretty good. I think the voice itself for Gragas is also perfect. Maybe needs to be a little bit more. I think maybe, of course, there needs to be a little bit more voice lines. Of course, some interactions with maybe like Ash or Tryndamere would be interesting as well. That would have been fun to have, but we don't have any of that for Gragas. And, I wonder the last time that they did anything for Gragas. Not only do we not have a login screen for our guy, we don't have him in Legends of Runeterra. He's not in Wild Rift. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I guess they have the KDA skin, but when did that come out? I guess maybe in 2024. So yeah, it hasn't been a very good ride for Gragas. Now, of course, he's not going to be the most popular champion in League, but I do think he still is used. You guys will have to let me know that. I wonder like how much he is used in the game and like what his role is. I feel like his role maybe isn't the most common. So I think that's actually kind of a good thing. But yeah, you guys will have to let me know. But anyways, let's look at the trivia here and then we'll talk a little bit more about Gragas. So Gragas the Rabble Rouser, we have, Oh yeah, that might be referencing the Kool-Aid Man's catchphrase, but I didn't catch it because I was like, it wasn't said in the same like kind of yelling phase, I guess. It wasn't said in the same way kind of as Kool-Aid Man, but that could be the same thing. They kind of have like the same thing where they would probably crush through a wall very easily. The only time I have a drinking problem is when I spill it, might be referencing Airplane. Okay, that's a very funny movie. If you've not seen that movie, you should watch it. No matter your age, like it would just be hilarious. Gragas shares quotes with I have a drink, which is Nami, and then let's get this party started with Tristana.
Let's get this party started. Have a drink. Let's get...
All right. Yeah, guys. So Gragas, I know Gragas is not going to be the most popular champion, whether that be, maybe his gameplay style, maybe the way Gragas looks, maybe how old Gragas is, maybe it's just how he plays, right? Like there's so many different reasons. Maybe even the skins aren't good enough, right? So I guess I want to hear from everybody that has played Gragas. Is his role actually semi-important? Or is Gragas honestly a character that we could totally forget about? I don't know. Like, I don't play the game, so I want to hear from people that actually play Gragas, or maybe even play against Gragas, whatever. Do you think his role is actually needed? Do you think they should add some more stuff to Gragas in the future? I think what they need to do for Gragas, personally as an outsider, for lore-wise, they need to, like, incorporate more League of Legends stuff into his lore. I feel like he's very basic, like, I don't know, human that drinks beer and has a big belly guy, right? Like it's not very League of Legends. I think the only tiny bit of League of Legends stuff that we got was the whole Freljord thing with him and Ash and the True Eyes thing, but it's very basic. Like that's the only thing that would put him in League of Legends. Everything else about him, he could be in Lord of the Rings for all I care, right? He could be in anything. So I think they need to just do a little bit more with him in terms of that stuff. I don't know if I mean, an easy thing to move his lore forward would obviously be to either move the Iceborne part of him a little bit forward and maybe like dive more into that, or the perfect ale thing, him trying to look for this perfect ale. You know what? Have Gragas finally find the perfect ale and then maybe give him another quest after that or something. I just think they need to do a little bit more with his lore, of course. In terms of like the real world of Runeterra and like his importance in terms of like the ending of Runeterra when it comes to like the Voidborn or the Watchers or any sort of world ending thing in Runeterra, I know Gragas is not going to be your most important champion. But I do feel like he would be a very funny character for the MMO. I think perfect quest already for Gragas. I can already picture it. You're in the Freljord in the MMO. He has a quest where he wants you to. It's a fetch quest, of course. He needs an ingredient from Shurima, right? Maybe you have to actually go get Azir's tears for him, like in the story. Maybe that's the quest for him. Honestly, could be perfect. I could see it in the game. And that's your Gragas quest, right? So they could do stuff like that with him in the MMO whenever that actually gets pushed out. But yeah, guys, I know Gragas isn't very important. I'm not going to talk too long about Gragas. Like I said, I have been doing our reactions in alphabetical order since, since these videos have kind of died down a little bit because we're not getting into the super popular champions. I'm just going to keep going in alphabetical order. But I do appreciate all of you that are still watching these and hanging out with me. These are really fun. I still love the world of Runeterra and League and all that. I know we're going to have another Arcane type show at some point as well. So, things are still going to be there. We are still getting lore drops every once in a while for League. So I'm still keeping up with it. But guys, let me know in the comments your thoughts on Gragas in general. Let me know maybe your favorite skin, things like that. I appreciate you guys watching. Do leave a thumbs up on the video. It helps other people see it. Subscribe to the channel if you don't already, because I do appreciate you guys still being here. But we have a bunch of other League videos to watch, and then if you're into gacha games, I've been reacting to gacha games. So let me know in the comments, guys, what you would like to see next, though, or if there's anything from League that has come out recently that I maybe have missed. Let me know in the comments. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.